So let's start with a really challenging question. What if saving humanity was actually the worst thing you could do for it? Today we're diving into a massive philosophical battle, a clash between compassion and the brutal demand for humanity to become something more.
Our story kicks off, as you might expect, not in the real world of flesh and blood, but in a place of pure thought. A cold, abstract void where ideas aren't just ideas, they're the most powerful forces in existence, with the weight to literally shape reality.
So first up, we're going to witness something incredible, a powerful idea taking on physical form. And listen, this is not your typical superhero origin story. This is about a concept, a thesis that becomes a god. It all starts with a scholar, this brilliant but physically weak Faust of the mind. His life is just consumed by illness. Then, with a single word, Kimota, and a crack of thunder, he's gone. He perishes. But from that end, something totally new erupts out of what's called a gamma-fueled cage, a prison built from human ambition. This is the birth of Wotan, the Overman.
And you really have to get this. Wotan isn't just some superpowered guy. He is, and I quote, a philosophical thesis made flesh. He is the living, breathing embodiment of an argument, and he has the strength of a god to back it up.
So this living idea comes down from his pure, glorious isolation and steps right into our world, into the marketplace. And what does he find? He finds the herd, a humanity that's been crippled, not by some monster or alien invasion, but by the suffocating weight of its own delusions.
And of course, this is where things get really interesting. It sets the stage for a cosmic bet we're calling the Devil's Wager. The ultimate tempter, Mephistopheles, shows up to give this new god a choice. And it seems simple, right? A choice between offering humanity comfort or demanding that they face a challenge. This slide just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the devil's offer, the path of the savior. You give them pity, comfort, a sense of belonging, but the price is stagnation. They never grow. On the other side, you have Wotan's very nature, the path of the Overman, challenge, overcoming, and the lonely, cold isolation that comes with true freedom.
The choice Wotan makes, well, that brings us right to the absolute core of this whole thing, the gravity of pity. This is where we get into the truly radical argument against compassion as a virtue.
Now, to really wrap your head around this, you have to understand a concept called slave morality. This is the devil's whole game. He's betting that even a god will fall for this value system, which is born from fear. It's a clever trick that takes things like weakness and suffering and relabels them as being good, as being virtuous. It's the morality of the herd.
And wow, this quote just nails Wotan's perspective. For him, pity isn't a helping hand, it's a weight. It's this gravitational force that doesn't lift the climber higher up the mountain. No, it pulls them right back down into the abyss of their own weakness. It stops any real progress.
Which brings us to the moment everything has been building towards. Wotan has seen the herd, he's heard the devil's tempting offer, and now he's about to deliver his judgment, a verdict that's going to hit like a crack of thunder.
And his answer? It's a flat-out rejection of the roles that we expect a savior to play. He says, "Nope, I'm not going to be a general for your pointless little wars, and I'm not going to be a priest to make you feel better about your self-inflicted wounds." He just refuses to participate in the drama.
Then he just boils his entire philosophy down into one single absolutely devastating sentence. His purpose, he says, is not to preserve humanity as it is, but to be the catalyst for what it could become. The goal here is to surpass, not to save.
So you might be wondering, what does this path to surpassing even look like? Well, it's kind of like a three-step process. First, he rejects the helping hand of pity. Then he issues this direct, incredibly difficult challenge: surpass yourselves. And finally, he rips the bandage off, exposing their cherished comforts, their religions, their moral codes, as nothing more than obsolete delusions.
Which of course just brings up the biggest question of all, doesn't it? It's a powerful command, surpass yourselves. But what in the world does that actually mean? Let's dig into what that challenge really implies. And that's what we're going to explore in this final part. We're going to look at the fallout from his decision. We'll explore what his choice reveals about his ultimate purpose, what the source calls the meaning of the earth, and the incredibly lonely path he has to walk.
This slide really breaks down what he becomes. His action isn't to save them, it's to simply step over them, not out of cruelty, but just detachment. His nature is absolute amoral freedom, which means he's not bound by our ideas of good and evil. He's not a hero in our story, he's a force of nature, the meaning of the earth itself.
And you know what's really telling? The effect this has on old Mephistopheles himself. For maybe the first time ever, that cynical, all-knowing smile just withers away into genuine unease. He's run into a will so powerful and so alien that he can't manipulate it. He can't even understand it. The devil just lost his bet, big time.
So what is this incomprehensible force that can actually scare the devil? The source gives it a name, the will to power. And here's the crucial part. It's a will that does not want to be loved. It doesn't want your approval. Its only desire is to perpetually overcome obstacles, including itself. You can't tempt it with comfort because comfort is the enemy of overcome.
All right, to wrap all of this up, let's finish with this incredible metaphor that just perfectly captures the entire idea we've been talking about, the choice to surpass rather than to save. It's like a sudden blinding flash of lightning in a pitch-black forest.
And that right there, that's the whole point. The lightning doesn't give you a nice, safe path to follow. It doesn't offer to guide you out. What it does do is illuminate the terrifying true height of the trees around you, and it reveals the uncomfortable fact that the safe, comfortable path you've been on has just been leading you in circles the whole time. It doesn't give you an answer. It just reveals the true size of the question.